Welcome to Silver Pros, sponsored by Hero Bullion. I am your host, Yankee Stacking, and I'm joined by my incredible co-host, Silver Dragons.
Hey, what's up, Yankee? How's everyone doing? I'm happy to be here. What are we talking about, Yankee? What's the topic?
Today, we're going to discuss how much silver do you need in a crisis?
Okay, yeah, we need to talk about gold as well. But first off, what do you mean by crisis? We need to define that because,
Okay.
are we talking like, midlife crisis? Is this a collapse of society? I mean, what's going on here, man?
Okay.
Define it for me.
All right, you know I'm a prepper and a prepper stacker. So the main reason I even stack silver is for potential barter usage, potential exchange after an SHTF. Okay, I also prep a lot of other things that are, I think, more important to prep earlier than silver and gold. But I do believe that silver especially is important. So when I say crisis, I'm not talking about some, financial blip, stock market going down or bear market. I'm talking about a serious collapse, something big, a dollar reset, a loss of our reserve currency status. Okay?
So you're talking SHTF, right? Or a collapse.
Pretty much.
So this is kind of like worst case scenario.
Mm-hmm.
How much do I need to stack so I'm prepared for worst case?
Right. And just imagine the feeling of facing another crisis or collapse, and you realize you didn't buy enough bullion to get through it. So that's really the tone of the discussion here tonight.
Yeah. Well, I would say, more and more stackers they're recognizing this,
Yep.
and we get questions about it so much. So, it's good to talk about it, put a number on it, give someone a goal. How much do I actually need? How much physical silver or gold should I own to be in good shape should an economic crisis hit?
Now, a lot of financial advisors, I should use scare quotes there, they say, oh, you should have precious metals, physical metals. It should be about 5 to 10% of your total portfolio. That's the traditional line. I know, right? That's what they say. I've heard many of them say this, right?
5%? Okay. Well, not for a prepper. Definitely not. That's absolutely ridiculous. I know some people are way over that, but what do you think about that approach?
I don't like it. I think it's short-sighted. I think, frankly, I think the percentage is kind of meaningless, especially if you have a lower overall net worth. I think it's more useful to think in absolute terms, not percentages. Real ounces of silver and gold. If you're trying to stack silver like insurance, okay, I think it needs to be a much bigger number.
So by the end of this video, you should have a number that is the amount of troy ounces you need.
Yes.
Should this collapse or crisis happen, because that's what we're going to be targeting, a number of ounces.
Again, it's a rule of thumb, okay? There's a lot of variability here. We want to help people here on Silver Pros to weather whatever economic storm comes, even if it's months or years. And we're going to show a chart that I think is going to help you in that regard.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that because, frankly, this is something I've thought about, and I've tried to come up with a number on my own. Okay, how much silver, how much gold do I need? But it's really difficult, especially if you're just new to stacking, and this is all new to you. You haven't bought gold or silver before. Maybe this is your first or second year,
right?
And it can be hard to figure out. So I'm excited for that chart.
I bet you a lot of people understand now that we could have a scenario where it is really hard to get everyday basic items. I don't think that's a far-fetched concept anymore, SD.
No, not at all. So, okay, let's think about calculating how much silver you need. And, of course, there's really two factors, right? You got your monthly expenses and then how long the crisis period lasts, right?
Yes. And we're going to talk mostly about silver, but we can also include gold, of course. It could be a combination of the two.
It is easier to look at it from the point of view of silver.
So let's take a look at this chart.
All right.
Okay. On the far left there, you see monthly expenses, right?
Yep.
So this is where you would look at your family, look at your situation, and think, how much does it cost for you to get by, live each month, your monthly expenses? I kind of know what that is for Mrs. Yankee and I, plus a little stacks and my daughter. It's $6,000 a month right now.
Okay. Yeah, I'm saying I'm at about 5,000, but
Okay.
I've got kids that can move up to six. And we're gonna base this chart off the current price of silver, right? Or what physical silver is going for.
Yes. And the way I did it is I based it on a 1 ounce silver round from our sponsor, Hero Bullion. So let's actually click on this link and see what that's running. Okay, so they've got these in stock here. Right here is a 1 ounce silver round, any mint, any condition. So just your basic low premium silver, right? 28.75 for one.
If you buy just one.
Yeah, if you just bought one. So if we go back, that's where I'm kind of pricing it. Forget the spot price. That's the cost.
So the silver ounce here, we're talking how many ounces you would need to cover that amount in US dollars.
For 1 month. For me, over 200 1 ounce silver rounds.
Okay, and obviously the crisis isn't going to last a month, but let's push it out. So if we move to the right, you're looking at 18 months for yourself, right?
I am. Right now I have about 1,800 ounces of silver. So I'm about halfway there.
Okay, but obviously if the price of silver goes up, all of these numbers can move.
If it goes up, say, to that magic $100 an ounce, right? You wouldn't need as much. However, if that scenario occurs, a loaf of bread may be $100, right? So inflation or hyperinflation could kick in. So I kind of based it on the here and now.
Sure. And this is kind of worst case scenario with everything the way it is right now, the price of silver, etc. So if I want just a year at the current price of silver, I'm looking at about 2,500 ounces if I have 6,000 a month expenses.
Correct. That's and we could talk gold here really quick too.
Yeah, I mean, because what if I want to do half gold, half silver?
Yeah. Okay.
What are we looking at?
Okay. Well, let's switch over to gold here. And I based this on a 1 ounce gold eagle at Hero Bullion. Let's take a look at that really quick. This is
those
again.
Are fun to stack.
I know these are in stock, right? This is my Canon. It's random year, right? Just give me an eagle, right? So actually, it's more like this for one. So 1956. If we go back, 1957. There, you can see it right there. And so all these right here. If I'm at 6,000 a month, we're looking at about 3 eagles a month.
Okay. I mean, see, I'll move myself over to 6,000 because, again, little kids.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to do a year of silver and a year of gold, I'd be looking at around 37 ounces of gold, 2,500 ounces of silver.
That's true.
But here's the thing, too. If we are in a crisis, what do we actually think is going to happen to the price of precious metals? I mean, especially in a dollar collapse, I personally think they would do extremely well. It's hard to put, a number on it or understand how well they could do.
Right.
But I mean, they could be way more valuable and you could be in a much better position than you thought you would be.
For me, this is a hedge against inflation. So again, the price could skyrocket. It could shoot the moon. But at that point, what are the costs of goods and services at that? At that point, that could also shoot the moon.
Yeah, I mean, this is really the best we can do right now. But
right.
I don't think it would be any worse than this.
I agree.
You're going to be about as well off or better off than you had hoped if you kind of use this guide.
And this can even help if we don't go through an SHTF, right? If we have if you have a crisis in your life, right? How does insurance function? It's to help you through those crises. So it may be a crisis of your job, your career, or your health.
If something goes, sideways and you need to sell your gold and silver next year and we're not in a major collapse, then you could still last as long as this chart, is projecting. So it's kind of a good number to keep in mind. I mean, I think 1 year's worth of silver, 1 year's worth of gold is a really good starting point. But honestly, even if you've stacked that much, you don't have to stop there. I mean, you can still stack for retirement.
Yes.
You can stack for your kids.
Right.
You could stack forever if you want. But this is a good starting place for worst case scenario.
Right. It really does, help me have a target for my stack. We hope you enjoyed listening in today. We'll see you next time on Silver Pros.
Stack like a pro.